Hey guys, it's Wi-Fi Toaster, and today I'm gonna be doing a little commentary about the new DLC and stuff like that. I don't exactly have. I have a little bit of a list of things I want to talk about, but I don't really have anything super specific. But anyway, let's just get started. You're gonna see in the background I've got some DLC invasions going back here. I'd actually originally planned on doing a blind playthrough of this, but my footage got all corrupted and messed up and junk, and I'm hoping that's just my computer and it's not my capture card. Um, yeah, I'm just hoping it's my computer being weird and that my capture card isn't dying, because I don't really have any way to get a new one, so I'm crossing my fingers that it isn't that. Um, but yeah, so instead I just went ahead and got some DLC invasions and got some of the different weapons, and you'll just be seeing them here. Now, this first character I have is using the Dragon Bone Fist, which is a new weapon from the DLC. Probably, if you've PvP'd in the last week or so, you've probably seen people use this weapon. And a lot of people are going to use it because uh, it's really fun to use, I have to say. I had a good time. Just it's so ridiculous. You just look fucking crazy with the moveset that it has, and I think people are gonna get tired of it real quick because they're gonna see it everywhere. But I can't blame people who use it because it's actually a really fun weapon to use. So if you haven't used it, you should just try it out now before people get really bored of it. But yeah, it's a really fun weapon to use, and that kind of segues into like the DLC in general because I just figured I'll talk a little bit about it. I had a really good time with this DLC. It was probably my favorite one out of all three. My second favorite being the Old Iron King, and my least, but still really good, was the Crown of the Sunken King. But I really like this one because it had a really great story. I felt, the aesthetic of the area was really nice. It looked really cool. There's an optional area that looks really, really cool too, and has this effect that I'm not gonna spoil too much, but when you get to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I just thought that area in general was cool, that optional area. And yeah, like I said, story, great atmosphere, and the thing I also really liked about this is they sort of had some. I mean, it was a serious DLC, but they had a few silly elements like these bone fists and a few other items, and like there were a few scenes that were a little strange and a little weird and kind of funny, which I like because I like it when games don't take themselves too seriously, and I felt like this DLC had a good story and a serious story, but it also realized it's still a game and put a few little silly things in there. So I enjoyed that. So that's what I thought. So if you haven't played the DLC yet, I highly recommend that you do. It's really great. So yeah, like I said, I don't have that much to talk about with this DLC, but I do want to cover a few of the items. I've already talked a little bit about the Dragon Bone Fist, but I also wanted to talk about they added a new shield that you'll see. I think two of my different characters are wearing. I think it's called the Soul Vessel Shield or the Vessel Shield. And this thing is ridiculous for at least for people who want to follow the 150 meta, because basically what it does is it requires, I think, 20 strength to use, 16 dex, 8 faith, and 8 intelligence. It's a medium shield. It blocks a little bit less than your normal medium shield in terms of like physical damage and stuff, but it raises your stats. I think I'm not sure about everything else, but I know it raises your strength and your dexterity by 4 while you have it equipped. I mean, so that's 8 levels. It's pretty ridiculous. You'll see that I have a character in here, and the character I'm using is a warrior class, and I kind of restatted him to be a mage, even though this isn't the most efficient class for him, but because From kind of messed up all my saves, I really only had one character to work with. I ended up creating all my characters. This is a whole deal. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. But Anyway, yeah, like I restatted him to be a mage, and you'll see that he's wearing the King Vengeance crown. Well, with that, that gives you 3 faith and 3 intelligence. That's enough to have the faith int requirements to wield the shield. And, you know, the shield gives you an additional 4 dex and 4 strength. So really, you only need 16 strength and 12 dex to actually wield the shield, which is almost the base stats of the warrior. So it's pretty ridiculous, and I think you're probably going to see a lot of people who are trying to follow the meta use it because, you know, getting essentially 8, and I think it raises some other stats too, but strength and dex were the most noticeable. But yeah, it raises a few other stats, but getting like 8 or 10 free levels, so basically being 160 when you're really at 150 is pretty insane for anyone who's trying to follow that 150's soul range. So I have a feeling you're going to see that shield a lot. Another weapon that I want to talk about, you'll see my mage character, and I think you'll also see a faith character that was trying out use it. It's the ice rapier, and it has a special R2 attack, which you should see that it shoots sort of like this icicle at people, and I don't know if that's a magic modifier. I haven't tested it or anything like that, but when I tried it on my mage character, I went ahead and I was like, well, I think I'm going to use this weapon to showcase it, so I think I'm going to infuse it with magic. And when I did that, that was pretty crazy how well that infusion worked, because it lowers your base AR by 20. So it has I think it has a physical base of 210, so went down to 190, but then added magic base damage of 145, gained B scaling in magic, and then I think dropped the dex scaling down to an E and the strength down to a C. So that's pretty crazy how good it is infused, and it seems like a lot of weapons are really good infused. Not sure how I would feel about that, because, you know, it kind of messes with melee builds when you're like the magic class or whatever has better weapon damage than you do. But you know, that's kind of, I was just kind of thinking about that because Stryder XV just released his buffs video or whatever. I'll leave a link in the description below. And yeah, I just, with that weapon, it kind of, you know, brought my attention to it as well. As like, wow, yeah, if I made a mage character or whatever and didn't put any attunement at all into it, just had base stats to wield this weapon and 40 intelligence or whatever, I would outdamage a 40-40 build with it. Now, to be fair, I don't know if that ice rapier is meant to be like an intelligence weapon or something like that, but still, that's, you know, that just, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. You know, it's one of those kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say controversial topics about infusing and stuff like that. You know, whenever you're talking about game balancing, PvP balancing and stuff like that, can get pretty, I don't know, heated in discussion, but whatever. So yeah, like I said, I infused it with magic damage, and I think in a few clips that you'll see, I have it, I buff it as well, and I think if I hit someone with not only the sword while using the R2, but also like the special attack or whatever, I think I deal 800 damage on someone. I mean, that's ridiculous, 800 damage from a rapier. So I just thought that was a little silly. But overall, I actually like that build a lot. I'm probably going to use it more. And it's a really fun build to use. And that new coat, I think it's called the Retainer's coat or something like that. And it has that cool hood on the back. I actually really like that. It's probably my new favorite light armor chest piece. And I'll probably be using that on a lot of my different magic characters and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool too. I don't really have too much else to talk about, but, you know, that was, you know, just the DLC, some items from the DLC. Kind of went off a little random tangent on infusing and stuff like that, but Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.